Hello to everyone who is hopping on to the call today. We are going to give it just a minute here and we're going to let a few more folks join us and then we'll get things kicked off. And to everyone who is joining the call, thanks for being here today. We are going to give it just another couple of, just one more minute, let a few more people join, and then we'll get started. All right, let's get started today. Evolve and BIMTM are here to bring you this open Q&A session on Revit Schedules. So please use the Q&A toolbar here to submit your questions. And, we may have time to demo things. And we have our BIM experts from BIMTM, Jeff Drews and Blair Springe, who are going to be leading this conversation today. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for having us, Marina.
Of course. All right, so I'm going to kick things off today with a quick poll so we can just, get the conversation rolling. So what is your BIM experience level?
That can always crack me up with the body mass index. I guess while you guys are submitting your poll questions here, we'll do just a quick introduction on who Blair and myself are and who BIM Technology Management is as a whole. So I'm Jeff Drews. I'm one of the co-founders of BIM Technology Management. And I'm here with Blair today, who is our mechanical plumbing manager. I've been in the industry for, oh man, it's like, it hurts to say it, but about 20 years now. I got into Revit pretty much like right when it came out. And for me, it's been a passion for BIM ever since, just trying to figure out how to solve problems and that kind of thing. Blair, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yep. Hi, my name is Blair. My background is plumbing. I started about 10 years ago in a fab shop and worked my way out into the field and eventually doing BIM. And ever since then, been trying to encompass everyone's great ideas all the way from the bottom up.
Awesome. And for those of you who don't know who BIM Technology Management is, we have a partnership with Evolve MEP where we handle the Revit basics training, but beyond that partnership, we also provide BIM services as well. So that could be BIM coaching, consulting, or even service work around mechanical, electrical, and plumbing coordination and fabrication. So today we are talking about Revit schedules. We did a webinar maybe a month ago or so, and it had a ton of feedback, and we didn't have time to actually get to all the different questions there were. So we figured, let's do it again, and this time we'll have it just an open Q&A the entire time. I'm more on the electrical side, so I wanted to bring Blair in this time, who can talk a little bit more about the MP side of things and some ITM, because that's a little bit of a foreign concept to me. So I guess let's get into it. So just quick overview. I'm assuming everyone who's in here knows what a Revit schedule is, but if you accidentally stumbled into this webinar, we can give you a brief explanation. So Revit schedules are basically just a way that we can pull all of that data that's built into those Revit families or ITMs all into a table of information, and then we can sort and filter and display that in various different ways to really leverage that data that exists within Revit. And that might include quantity takeoff, material takeoff, and then some other examples that we're not going to touch on at all, but just as a general overview is key schedules, embedded schedules, and then sheets and view lists. So I guess at this point, let's open it up to the general Q&A. If you have any questions regarding how we create schedules, how you do something in a Revit schedule, mostly related to quantity takeoff around the MEP coordination, submit those questions now. In the interim, we're gonna let Blair kind of take it away with kind of just showing how some schedules work in the ITM world.
All right. So in ITMs, as we know, are not a Revit family, so they act and behave a little differently. Sorry. Okay, everyone can see my screen, correct? I just got a one here.
Yes.
Okay. So here I have just made a very simple.
Oh. You still there?
My Zoom just restarted.
Oh, okay.
I apologize. All right, back to this. I made a very simple schedule just to show our overall fabrication services within the project, as well as material of that surface and work set that it's on. I have created this just to show a brief overview of the project, what services are in it, and use it as a tool if needed for changing.
Oh, looks like maybe Blair internet froze or something, not 100%. I guess in the interim, somebody submitted a question here. It says, does this seminar include electrical panel schedules? It can. I'll say it can. I don't want to get too deep into that just because that has a lot to do with, there's a lot of setup, and I don't necessarily know that the template that I'm utilizing here has all of that set up. Marina, can you hear me? Is it me?
Yeah,
Oh,
we got you. No
okay.
worries, Jeff. And hey, no worries. We got Blair back. And apologies to our audience, but these things happen when we're in a digital age and rely a lot on technology. So thanks so much for your patience.
I apologize, everyone.
It's all good, Blair.
Let's try it from the web browser this time. The app was crashing. Okay. So I was back to where I was. I'm using this as a tool to edit work sets if needed. I created a situation where the work sets were incorrect for sanitary waste, for example. And I'm able to edit that straight here from the schedule. And that's the benefit of this overview schedule. It's just a dashboard for your project and a way to fix things. So this sanitary waste, as we know, is probably going to want to be on this DWV work set as I made for this project, not natural gas or domestic water. So right here, you can edit it, change it, it grabs it and changes that piece within the model, whether that's a Revit family, ITM, that's for all schedules. And now getting into something that's a little more useful for the project and used for your purchasing team, a pipe and fitting bill of material. And this bill of material is set up in a way where you have pipe and fittings on the same schedule, which has been a little difficult in the past. And with ITM specifically, as we know, there's specific parameters that we can pull in. So for this one specifically, I've brought in count, size, product long description, and length. Now, your fittings don't have a length that's really makes any sense. So we have a conditional format to blank these out and only show pipe length total length here. And the way that we accomplish that is, like I said, conditional formats within the the length here, which is set up to blank out anything that is not a Schedule 40 DWV pipe. So this is Schedule 40 DWV pipe down here, and all fittings are blanked out of length. And this is a calculated total length column here to show the whole length of the pipe rather than it itemized every instance. So I'm going to open that up now to any questions.
Yeah, we do have a couple. That's a good thing to show, Blair. I think there's a lot of, that's one of those things within the Revit schedules that if somebody hasn't showed you, it's kind of hard to stumble upon. But conditional formatting in scheduling, you could even use it in a way where you have columns show up red if something isn't supposed to be that way. So like more of a QC type thing.
Correct. And with using those conditional formats,
so we have
set up the color.
We have two different questions here, Blair. I'm gonna let you field this one. So it says, how do you generate takeoff for cut lengths? Do you use a cut calculator or just add percentage to a bill of materials? So right now your schedule is showing like total length, right? So we could potentially like sort this in a different way that we would get individual cut lengths, correct?
Yes. So it depends on how narrow you want to, how much pipe you want on that, right? So I was thinking about adding a reference level here. You can break this down per level or anything that you want to break this down by. I mean, you could add a mark to the pipe and write in your custom parameter and sort by that if you wanted to, or assemblies if you're doing assemblies for spooling. You could do it by sort it by that spool number by adding that parameter into your schedule. And now when it's in there, you don't have to always show it. You can hide that and use it as just a sorting parameter within your schedule. I hope that answered your question.
I think so. Can you demo a little bit about how we would potentially sort that a little different instead of showing the total material length, how we could start getting a cut length from it, even if that list is massive, just to show them like a general idea of how that could work.
Sure. So let's quickly make a new schedule. And we're going to make it sorted from MEP fabrication pipework, which is ITMs. And we're going to want to get our cut lengths. So we're going to want to do it by fabrication service, probably, just to get it narrowed down a little bit. So let's add that. We're going to need length. So let's go down to L for length. There it is. And
maybe size or something.
Yeah, size would be good. And these are sorted by how they're going to show. So let's do size of pipe. What it is going to be product long description here. So we're going to add that. Sorry. So this is the service it's on. That's the name of the fitting or the pipe, right? Size and length is in there. So let's go ahead and just make it, see what happens. And now we're going to want to get rid of fittings. So then you have to start sorting those things out, which we'll use by sort by product long description. Actually, we'll do size first, then product long description. So it sorts in a way that we're used to. And keeping that as itemize every instance is on. So now we have all of this. This is all fittings still. So we're going to have to get rid of the fittings by sorting that out by using conditional formats. So if the product long description does not equal, I know the pipe on this one is DWV. Actually, I need to get the name, so I have to go back. Sorry, I apologize. There it is. Schedule 40 DWV pipe is what I need to conditionally format out. Product long description equal to schedule 40 DWV pipe. My mouse is all over. Here we go. So right now, this is at the top. I haven't sorted it out completely, but as you can see, we have every length and size right here of every pipe. Right here, this is not really an optimized project. This is just a test project, so I don't have optimized lengths, and you see 21 footers or over that. Looks a little funny.
There's another
and then if you're
kind of related to that too, so we can touch on that after.
Sure, go ahead and add that now.
Yeah, I think so. Somebody's asking if you have like a 3'6" cut length, but stock length is 10, your length will show 18 feet in your schedule. But the required stock will be 30 feet. Do we have a means to calculate this waste for stock lengths? So I think to your point, the optimized lengths would do some of that, but I don't think Revit would handle that out of the box. You would need some kind of add-in to accomplish that, like Evolve.
Right. Correct. When using ITM parts, tools like Evolve really help with getting the information on the ITMs that you need to achieve the schedules at the end of the day. Yeah. So like I said, and like this shows, the lengths are not optimized. They have not been yet. And that would have to be done first.
I got another one that came in that's kind of related to what you were doing there. So somebody's asking, do you prefer conditional formatting over utilizing filters? Like, what are the pros and cons of it? Personally, they've always used filters, but they can see the benefit to this. And even for myself, I haven't used conditional formatting in the way that Blair's just showing there, but I think that just shows within Revit, there's typically 3-5 different ways that you can go about doing everything.
Correct. So either way, I mean, this is a little more limited. With conditional format, you have control of adding like color or and getting more specific, I feel, and adding a lot of conditions. So with this one that I have made, let's take a look at it one more time real quick.
So they're kind of different though, right? Your conditional formatting will apply something to a cell while your filter will remove something from your schedule as a whole.
Correct. So if it does not equal product long description, schedule 40 DWV pipe, it's going to put a blank on it. Even though there's a length in there, it's just going to put black background on there. So we can't see this 6 5/8 length on a Y. Doesn't make any sense. And it just would confuse your purchasing team. And that's the benefit of it, is just to cover information is best as I can explain it.
Yeah. You want to show that field across the board, but you don't want to give them information that's going to cause further questions or confusion.
Absolutely. Less turnbacks, the better.
I guess tying into that one as well, we got another question that says, can this schedule print on a sheet with the solid blacked out fields? And that it does print that way, right, Blair?
That's correct. Yes, it does. When you put this onto a sheet, it shows just this way. And I'm using Revit 22 at the moment. As we know, Autodesk, that could be varying from version to version a little bit.
Somebody asked the question, not really a question, sort of a question. It says there's not a way on the conditional formatting to use the or and operations, correct? And I think the answer is that
That's
no,
right.
there isn't that way, but there is a way to add a field that has some conditional formatting going with it. So can you go just to that fields tab real quick?
The fields tab, yes. Uh-huh.
And then where that little FX is there,
Yes.
we can actually create fields that have a formula associated to it. They would have like an and or. I'm not going to get too crazy into that one right now, but you could have like um I'm trying to think of how we would use that one potentially with this. I don't
The
use it.
options are endless between
Yeah,
the this format, the filters are pretty strong, and then conditional formatting. You can achieve a lot of similar things between those three tools.
we could create like a field where if we wanted a certain amount of waste on every single cut length or something like that, we could have length times overage or something equals ordered material or something along those lines.
The options are endless. As
And
long as you have
then
the information in the family or ITM to pull from, that's correct within that first, then we can manipulate schedules to show what we need to show.
we have another one that kind of related to the schedule that you have on there right now. They're asking, can you show how Revit is able to sort and calculate total lengths by size? So essentially the schedule that you have on the bottom there, how did you go about doing that? How did you get the total bill of material length?
So I'm sorting by product long description first, and then this shouldn't be twice. Sorry, this should just be size and then none, and then size. So first is pipe, then size. So that would sort it this way if you set up it this way as well. And then with lengths, you just have to set this to calculate totals, and it will calculate the total length of all the pipe in the project. And you get one more thing back here on this tab of sorting and grouping is itemize every instance needs to be unchecked.
Can you go back to that for or the formatting where it says calculate totals, and can you change it back to what it shows like out of the box, which is the no calculation?
It would just say
It
varies
has varies. So that
because
step that he showed is critical.
correct, which is here on the length column for each one of these, I want to calculate the total of all of that. And that's why these numbers within the fittings would just don't make sense. The back end length of the fittings don't correlate to size, for example.
Somebody asked, what if you have to add schedule 80 to the schedule? So as those are getting modeled, they would just automatically pop in, correct? Or do you have
One
that
more time
filtered
on the
out?
beginning of that. How would what?
I think they're asking if they wanted schedule 80 added to this schedule as well, how would you go about having both in the same schedule?
Schedule 80? Oh, hey, schedule 80 pipe. Correct. I
Yeah,
see.
not like a
I,
schedule, like a different type of
whew,
material.
we're on the schedule topic. My mind is narrow right
Or
now.
even copper or whatever, something that's a little
Yeah.
easier to keep straight in your mind.
So if I had schedule 80 within the project, it would just show here because I'm sorting this by fabrication service. So if I drew with another fabrication service such as cold water, that would show up here immediately.
So it's not
And
filtered out currently. It's just you only have schedule 40 in this project right now.
yeah, this is just a test project. Only have schedule 40 right now. Yes. I have a few services of schedule 40 DWE pipe, but if there were other pipe types here, they would be listed and sorted as they're named. Because we are sorting and grouping by product long description first, which is the name of the pipe.
there's a few other questions, so I'm gonna answer this one. Somebody has, do families need to be set up with these fields in order for the scheduling to work? Are all of the fields inherent to the families, or do these need to be established for each project? And I think your answer to this is a little bit different than my answer to this, so I'll let you answer that first.
So ITMs are, the database lives within Fabrication CAD MEP. They don't live within Revit. Unless you know how, or you are the one who does manage that for your business or company, then it's going to be difficult to make any changes or add something. As far as Revit families, that's a different story, which Jeff could touch on. But yeah,
Sure.
you can only pull from the few things that come through from Fabrication CAD MEP to Revit, and it's limited without tools.
So to touch on the family versus ITM, I mean, Revit comes with some out of the box fields, but for the most part, you have to set up your own. So that would be through shared parameters, or that shared parameter could be added to a family. And every time you add a family to the project, it comes with. So there's a few different ways to do it. But for the most part, I try not to use the out of the box ones, and I try and establish my own set of parameters that either exist within my families or within a template as a whole.
And same goes with ITMs though. Like a company should have an aligned parameter that comes through by default, like this product long description, for example. And all of these are named correctly and uniformly how you would purchase them, for example. But to make any changes to this would be changing the database from Fabrication CAD MEP as far as ITMs go. A little complicated, more complicated.
We got, I think, 2 questions left, and then we're gonna have to wrap this thing up. But so somebody's asking, can you have multiple different conditional formats on a single cell? Example, turn yellow if 80 to 100%, or red if greater than 100%. And the answer to that is yes. I have seen some quite complex set of conditional formats added.
So let's do,
Go ahead.
let's show only equal to pipe size. We're going to show only 2-inch. I don't know if I have to have that diameter symbol in there or not, but we're going to figure it out right now. As you can see, it broke my conditional format by adding that, and it did not do what I tried, because I think I do need to have the symbol in there as well.
There's a shortcut for it. I forget what it is.
Yeah, it's something or other, of course. But
there you go. Somebody said Alt O 216.
Alto 216. Someone's
Thank
ready.
you.
All right.
Anonymous attendee.
Let's try that. And size 2-inch. So this is the bad part about conditional formatting, is now I can't edit that, and I'm going to have to clear it and then re-add everything. So you have to be very careful. That is the one downfall of the conditional formatting, where filtering does.
I think we could even set up another follow-up webinar and capture some of these questions and hit them specifically, because as we're going through as we're continuing to go through this, there's even more coming up. So we can utilize the questions, we'll capture them, and we'll set up a webinar specifically about that. But we're just about out of time today. I want to be respectful of everybody's time here.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Jeff and Blair, and thank you everyone today for coming. And I hope you get to leave with a little bit more knowledge about using Revit schedules. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice day.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.